What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of Darkness Sanctuary LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's very well known in the StarCraft 2 Pro scene and is one of my favorite StarCraft 2 Pro gamers of all time. His name is Nerchio. And his opponent spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. We have one of the other best StarCraft 2 gamers out there, playing with the Zerg pieces. And is a very fun Zerg player to watch, to say the least. Her name is Scarlett. So guys and girls, I am very excited about this series, and this game in particular that was played at the WCS in Austin was one of the round of 16 games of that tournament. And so, you know, all these games of course do matter when we're talking about a best of 5 series that's being played at the highest level of StarCraft 2. Now, as I said, Scarlett, you know, I think she's she's definitely the most popular female StarCraft 2 pro gamer. I actually don't really follow any other StarCraft 2 pro gamers that are females, but she is definitely the most popular, and she can pretty much, and has proven over time, to be able to compete against some of the best in the business when it comes to StarCraft 2. That said, Nerchio, he's kind of not done quite as well as he in years past. He had been playing a lot better, and I don't know what it is with Nerchio that he hasn't been playing quite as well in these past, the past year or so. But nonetheless, I still think that this is one of the best Zerg players out there and an absolute force to be reckoned with. So let's see what both our players are deciding to do here in the early stages of the game. Looks like it's pretty standard on both sides of the map. We're getting the hatch gas pool opener on both sides. You'll see that top left-hand side of the production tab. You'll pretty much see, generally speaking, the ZvZ matchup. It's generally speaking very similar in the early stages, and then as time goes, it'll definitely and usually change over time. Both players going for that metabolic boost upgrade out of the spawning pool, which of course is the Zergling speed upgrade, and each player getting 2 queens. We're going to see a Baneling nest coming out of Nerchio early on. So usually with the current, what we've been noticing a lot of, at least when it comes to the ZvZ matchup, it generally starts with Zerglings into Roaches, and possibly then you kind of move into some Banelings, and then of course you can start going ahead, getting that lair, and then getting those higher tier lair units like the Hydralisks. So we will see what both these players decide to do in this game number 1, because a lot of times the first game of a best of 5 series, generally speaking, you're trying to get a feel for what the other players kind of trying to do, and you try to maybe toy back and forth with each other, and you kind of see if there's any types of scouting information that you can get. And it does look like Nerchio is going to see that third, and confirm that third hatchery is going down. We are going to see Evolution Chamber coming in now for Scarlett. Third hatchery on the opposite side of the map is going down as well for Nerchio. So this is where it starts getting, kind of interesting as far as the different techs of choice that these players decide to go with. Now we are going to see Scarlett is going to go, Nerchio is going to go for that early lair. And so we're going to see the lair coming in shortly. We're going to see +1 being started for Scarlett out of that Evolution Chamber for the ground-based units. Baneling nest coming in now as well for Scarlett. And like I said, this is where it starts getting pretty interesting, because you're going to start seeing Zerg units start scattering all over the map. There will be, Zerglings running around trying to get any types of scouting information that they possibly can, and just seeing if they can get an edge at some point or another. Now it does look like Scarlett's going to go for another Evolution Chamber. We are going to see an Evolution Chamber coming out of Nerchio as well. So that third hatchery is now finished up. But nonetheless, pretty, neither player has dealt, huge losses to the other. But like I said, a lot of the time this is generally a matchup where it just, a lot of back and forth, trying to figure out if there's any types of scouting information that either player can get. Scarlett's going to go ahead and do a little bit of some scouting information. Also trying to see if she can find an angle with this handful of Zerglings. And we are going to see the Spire follow up out of Nerchio. So I like that decision a lot to go for the Spire. At this early part of the game, it does look like some of these Zerglings are going to find Scarlett trying to move across the map here. Looks like Scarlett is going to find one or a couple of those queens off, not quite off creep, but pretty close to off creep, and they do get this around. They get one of those queens for their troubles. And now it does look like Nerchio, I really like the decision to go for this Spire. Should be interesting to see what he decides to do. Most likely the Mutalisk, you know, switch up. And Scarlett, both players, as I said, trying to kind of get an angle here. Scarlett is she's gonna be completely caught off guard though with these Mutalisk whenever they do come out. She has no lair, to my knowledge, at this point. Okay, lair is going down just now. Does look like, though, she is going to start getting a little bit aggressive at this third hatchery at this point. Got to be very careful. All comes down to the engagement here. Oh, man, those Banelings, very, very scary. Now the Banelings are coming in here for Scarlett. She's going to want to try to do as much damage as possible. Big connections there on the other Banelings. But back and forth once again here. More and more Zerglings are going to be coming in at this point in the game, trying to do as much damage as possible. Like I said, that fourth hatchery now is just finishing up. And oh, big Baneling connections once again. Both sides kind of trading blows at this point. Scarlett's got a little bit of a supply lead. But nonetheless, melee attacks level 1 is going to be finished up for both players in a few seconds now. It does look like Nerchio is going to start moving across the map with his own Zerglings. He's almost like kind of just allowing the Zerglings of Scarlett to start doing a little bit of some damage. They are going to pretty much be trading blows, but this third hatchery is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now the Zerglings are on the opposite side of the map, and they are going to start doing some damage as well. It's all going to come down to the defense. Oh, beautiful Baneling hits there, doing a lot of damage there, and it does look like these Zerglings are going to back off, at least for now. And Nerchio is starting to hit at a couple angles at once. It looks like he has definitely done maybe a little bit more damage at this point than Scarlett. Scarlett's going to have to kind of get her entire army back home, or what is left of this army, and it looks like Nerchio is going to try to get this third hatchery. Does get it just like that, and now Nerchio is going to be, you know, a little bit ahead now. Now, I got to say this. I feel like Scarlett was a mistake allowing this base to stay up, and I'm assuming she's going to come right after that base at this point in the game. And it looks like she's going to start moving right in that direction. She's going to try to snipe this base, and that would be a nice little pickup. There you go. She is going to snipe that base. It is down. And now, once again, we're going to see the jostling back and forth. It's all going to come down to the engagement. We have another counterattack by Nerchio, and this is really keeping him in a very, very good position. It's forcing Scarlett to go back home because they are doing a lot of damage going after so many of those drones. Scarlett has to keep on going home because of what Nerchio's doing. As we approach that 8.5 minute mark, we are going to see the Mutalisks are now out on the playing field, and these Mutas are going to catch these Banelings completely off guard. And here we go. Looks like Nerchio is going to start trying to move across the map, and Scarlett is going to have to come up with a plan. Centrifugal hooks as well as ground carrot base level 1 are going to be finishing up here, and those Mutas are going to start moving across the map. There's a lot of Zerglings here for Scarlett. She's going to have to be very careful, though. There's a ton of Banelings are out on the map. And just like that, it does look like the Baneling hits are going to be huge at this point, and it does look like those Mutalisks are going to have a heyday, at least for now. These Zerglings are going to try to get the cancel. They are actually able to get the kill there. Some of those do go down, and beautiful play there by Nerchio, but good play as well by Scarlett. Scarlett's trying to slowly kind of keep Nerchio at bay. Now both players are on 3 bases, and these, of course, Nerchio is doing so much damage right now. He is hitting at multiple angles at once. Beautiful play here by Nerchio, absolutely playing this beautifully, going after one of these queens, and Scarlett is kind of in a bad position right now. She is going to have to figure something out very, very quickly because a lot of damage is being dealt. We are going to see the infestation pit going down for Scarlett, but I gotta say, at this point, Nerchio is definitely in a nice position. If you ask me, at least, I think he's in a really good position, simply because he's got more and more mutas that are going to be going down, and there's really no response for this other than Scarlett is getting more and more queens, but there is a lot of mutalists now that are out on the playing field, and I think what she's planning on doing is going for a little bit of a counterattack here with a lot of Zerglings. See 20 on that production tab. I think she's going to try to do some damage, but there's a lot of banelings here. And so, while this has all been going on, we are going to see these mutas once again are just going to keep on trying to snipe these queens, and now they're going to go after some of those overlords, and they are just taking them down one after the other. Oh my, the absolute devastation right now that's being dealt by Nerchio. Beautiful play here by Nerchio. Absolutely huge. Now, there is a counterattack on the opposite side of the map, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough here, because there's just so much damage being dealt by Nerchio. He's having an absolute field day with all those mutalists are just doing so much damage. You gotta, and I mean, Scarlett doesn't have much of a answer right now. Now, she is going to start getting those infestors out, and I like that decision a lot, but I just don't know. These mutas, there's a, you know, in high numbers, they can do a lot of damage, and they really are doing some damage. They're really putting the pressure on Scarlett at this point in the game, and I gotta say, I would love to see what Scarlett tries to do to get back in this game. Now, we are going to see some fungal growth there. Beautiful play by Scarlett. She is going to start slowing down the production here. Oh my, beautiful play there by Scarlett. The absolutely brilliant play there. And now Scarlett has actually taken a nice little lead because she was able to take out so many of those units. Now, here we go. It does look like Nerchio's had enough, though. He wants to go after a lot of these units right here and right now. And it looks like, once again, the absolutely beautiful play by Scarlett. Just doing so much damage with these infestors and the fungal growth. Now, we're seeing not Nerchio is trying to hit it at multiple angles at once, but the fungal growth even on the Zerglings and on the banelings, absolutely devastating for Nerchio. So Nerchio was in the lead, absolutely. But now it's starting to feel like the tides are kind of turning at this point as we approach that 13-minute mark. We're going to see Glow Reconstitution that's going to be finishing up here shortly for Nerchio. And a lot of these, you know, upgrades are coming in. Both players are going for the hives, which of course they're going to be going for those higher tier hive-based units. But Scarlett is going to try to keep Nerchio is trying to keep tabs on what's going on with Scarlett. He wants to, you know, try to keep her at bay and not allow her to really expand very easily, because she is, you know, she's on 3 bases. I mean, both players are on 3 bases, so this is really anybody's game at this point. I really feel, though, that the longer this goes, it does kind of feel like this defense by Scarlett was just great. I mean, the Infestor switch-up was huge for her, and she's just got so much defense here. I mean, just so many queens, and the beautiful fungal growth again on all these units, just slowing down these units. Oh my god, beautiful play here. Now, here's the question. It looks like Scarlett is starting to move across the map, though. Looks like she is starting to move across the map, and is there going to be enough here? There is so much blue moving across the map. Now, we are going to see, of course, the burrow has been researched for Scarlett, and so here we go. Does look like these banelings are going to start moving, and they are going to slow down the banelings. Oh my, but a couple of those banelings are right next to all those infestors, and I don't know if I really like that decision much by Scarlett, but nonetheless, she's going to continue the moving onward. Roaches are going to be coming out now, and here we go. It's all going to come down to the engagement at this point in the game, because there are a lot of infestors. The queens are very, very slow, so this is going to give Nerchio a little bit of some time to try to get the engagement that he wants, but of course, Scarlett is already close to the other side of the map. Beautiful baneling hits, though. Oh my god! Absolutely destructive by Nerchio, taking out so many of those infestors with the baneling hits, and just like that, Scarlett's supply is absolutely plummeting, as she's trying to move across the map, those banelings were able to take out so many of those infestors and really hurt Scarlett's supply. This has been a back and forth engagement between these two players, and now Nerchio is absolutely in the lead at this point. He is, like, in control of this game at this point. Now the transfusions are going to be coming in. The Infested Terrans are going to be coming in as well for Scarlett. But the question is it going to be enough? The surround is going to be coming in here for Nerchio. Nerchio wants to close this thing out right here and right now. GG is written and typed. And Nerchio takes a 1-0 lead over Scarlett. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Nerchio and Scarlett. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 2. Alrighty, everyone. Well, game number 2 in this best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin and was one of the games in the round of 16. And I'm very excited to see what ends up happening in this game. But let's introduce both our players. Spawning here in the top left hand corner of Acid Plant LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces, we have a current player who is down, but certainly not out of it just yet. Her name is Scarlett. And her opponent spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is Nerchio. So guys and girls, game number 1 in this series was absolutely awesome. What a real back and forth battle between these two players. There was just so much going on all around the map. It was hard to kind of keep up with, but it was absolutely, there were just moments where Scarlett absolutely felt like she had a very good opportunity of obtaining victory, and I think that she definitely had her moments. Nerchio also had moments of where it felt like he was definitely going to, you know, take a lead, and then there were times where it felt like he was kind of allowing Scarlett to kind of dictate the pace of the game. And all in all, Nerchio was able to take advantage of an opportunity where Scarlett may have, you know, pushed across the map a little bit too quickly, which I think was something that happened with those infestors. They were starting to move a little bit too far away from the queens, and the baneling hits that came in by Nerchio were just devastating to Scarlett. So the question is, though, you're down by 1 game, and you're Scarlett, you're going up against a player the caliber of Nerchio. What are you going to do? What do you do in this situation? Do you decide to go for, you know, the standard macro focus game, or do you decide to go for a little bit of something kind of cheesy, which Scarlett does tend to do every so often? And it does look like Nerchio's going to go for the quick hatch gas pool opener. He's going to expand to a 3rd hatchery, and Scarlett on the opposite side of the map is kind of playing it a little bit different. She's going for the hatch gas pool opener, but has not expanded to 3 bases as of yet. So very quick 3rd base out of Nerchio. But nonetheless, we are going to see a couple queens coming out of each player. Metabolic boost is going to be started research out of the spawning pool, which of course is the Zergling speed upgrade and the most standard upgrade for Zerg players. We are going to see a Baneling nest coming in for Nerchio. 3rd hatchery going down now for Scarlett. So it does look like she just got her 3rd hatchery down a little bit later than Nerchio, but nothing too critical as of yet. So as I was saying, I mean, I'm excited to see what ends up happening in this game between these two players, because I mean, as I've said, you know, these two very fun players to watch, and I love the style of play that they have for sure. It's a lot of fun. Now I am starting to see 16 Zerglings on that production tab are starting to move across, are going to be morphed in here shortly. And I'm wondering, okay, so we're going to see some Banelings, so I wonder if we're going to see some Banelings moving into, looks like the natural expansion, and a lot more Zerglings are going to be following up with this, so this is very interesting. It does look like Scarlett is going to see that this is coming, but there's a lot of units that are starting to move across the map here. Here we go. It does look like Nerchio is going to get very aggressive here, and it does look like there are 3 queens out there, so the question is, got to be very careful. Those queens are going to start target firing down those Banelings. Beautiful play there, but oh, one of the Baneling hits was huge, and it does look like the Banelings are going to start doing a little bit of some damage. GG is already called, and Nerchio takes a fast 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Nerchio and Scarlett, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 3. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today, I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of Dreamcatcher LE, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. She's currently down in the series, but certainly not out of it just yet. Her name is Scarlett. And her opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently up in the series and wants to finish off this series right here and right now. His name is none other than Nerchio. So guys and girls, this series has had a little bit of everything so far. We've had the standard macro focus game out of both of our players, and then, you know, in game number 2 got a very cheesy build out of Nerchio. So what are we going to get in this game? And that's the beauty of the ZvZ matchup. There's so many mind games that go into this matchup. And the question is, though, is I think the storyline is more so based around Scarlett. What do you do in this situation? You're down by 2 games. You got to get back in the series. What do you got to do? You go for a little bit some cheese here. You go for the macro focus game. Because Nerchio has outplayed Scarlett in both occasions so far. He's been playing absolutely brilliantly against Scarlett. And, you know, I'm wondering, you know, he's going to try to finish this series up at this point. You know, this game, he does not want to allow this game to go on any longer. He does not want Scarlett to have any chance of getting it back. So, I mean, like, what do you do? You know, what do you do in this current situation? So, it does look like Nerchio is going to go for that standard hash gas pool opener. Now, Scarlett, though, on the opposite side of the map, is going for a very fast Baneling nest, and she's going for that spawning pool. So it does look like she is going to try to get aggressive here. And I like this decision a lot. Why not? She's got Zerglings already on the opposite side of the map. The question is, though, she is going to start target firing down this hatchery, and she's going to try to do a little bit of some damage here. Does look like it's going to be a little bit of that, you know, that toying back and forth between these two players. But here we go. Nerchio knows something's not right. So this natural expansion is not there. Banelings are already coming in now for Scarlett. Here we go. She wants to get aggressive, and she wants to get on that scoreboard, and this is maybe the way to do it. It's all going to come down to the micro, though. You got to be very careful. You're going up against one of the best Zerg players out there in the world, and so when you are deciding to do this, it has to be an absolute all-in, which I don't think that she had any other. There was no question that she was definitely going to go for anything else other than an all-in, which we are seeing right now. She's going to try to target fire down this natural expansion here. She's going to try to go ahead and get it. The question is she going to be able to get it? Got to be very careful. Target firing down that, of course, that Baneling, and it looks like she is going to be pushed back, at least at this point. So it does look like Nerchio's defense is absolutely on point. Scarlett is forced to go ahead and get that natural expansion out, and now she's going to be behind. Simply because now she's going to have that lost mining time, and Nerchio is going to start droning up this natural expansion. And I just don't think she did enough damage there. She really did not do enough damage to justify going for this build. And I mean, really, I like it, though. I like that Scarlett tried it. It did not work out, obviously, for her in this game so far, but I gotta say, I like that she wanted to get aggressive right back against Nerchio, because Nerchio did it in game number 2, but Nerchio's defense was just absolutely on point there, playing very, very well. And now we're going to see that metabolic boost upgrade coming in for Nerchio. So now both of these players, okay, you know, Scarlett, you know, even though she wanted to go for that all-in engagement, essentially, or at least take out that natural expansion, and that didn't work out, you can kind of go to your plan B now. And plan B is obviously going to go into the build that you were planning on doing from the beginning. And so it looks like she's just going to kind of transition here And it's all about that transition phase. You wanna transition as best you can. Does look like the evolution chamber is going to be going down for both players, actually. And so, you know, it does seem like, you know, Nerchio, even though, you know, he held on there, which was very well done, and now Scarlett is going to have to get a little bit greedy herself, even though not necessarily greedy going for that third base. But if Nerchio finds out about that third hatchery, I wonder if Nerchio is going to allow it to happen. It does look like Nerchio is going to start moving out with a bunch of units now. And I wonder if he did know about this third base. It looks like he does now at least know. And so he is going to start moving across the map with a lot of units. They're going to try to get this round on this third hatchery here. And it looks like he is going to be able to force that cancel. But here we go. The Banelings are out. And this is where it's all going to come down to the micro once again by both of these players. Got to be very, very careful at how you do this. Nerchio looks like he is going to go back home. Did get the cancel, so he's going to go ahead and start making a third hatchery of his own. Oh, man, this has been an interesting series, guys, to say the least. We're going to see the lair coming in now for Nerchio. He wants to go ahead and get those higher tier lair-based units. He also is going to be getting that Roach Warren out as well. And GG was called. And that totally throws me off. And you guys might be wondering, why would Scarlett GG so prematurely, almost 2 games in a row? The first game, guys, which was game number 2, she GG'd out. But you got to remember that he did a lot of damage on the opposite side of the map with that push, and he would have just been a matter of time until he overwhelmed her. And I guess the same can be said here in game number 3. I think he frustrated Scarlett, and he was able to obtain a 3-0 sweep of this series and move on to the round of 8. I hope you guys did enjoy this game and this series between Nerchio and Scarlett. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.